Maria had always been a romantic at heart. She'd spent her lonely evenings painting the man she wished existed, a dream partner who would understand her deepest desires. Her latest masterpiece was her most ambitious yet, a tall, broad-shouldered figure with kind, piercing blue eyes, a chiseled jaw, and a protective demeanor. She painted him leaning against a warm sunset, his expression one of fierce loyalty and devotion. When the last stroke of her brush dried, the air in her studio grew thick. The canvas shimmered, and before her, the man she painted stepped into reality. His deep voice filled the room. "Maria," he said, his lips curling into a perfect smile. "I'm here for you." At first, it was magical. He cooked for her, whispered sweet nothings, and gazed at her as if she was the only person in the world. He even called her my muse, the words dripping with adoration. For days, Maria basked in the attention, convinced she'd created the perfect companion. But soon, the cracks began to show. The man became controlling, his affection turning suffocating. "You don't need anyone else," he told her when she tried to call a friend. He'd gently take her phone and place it out of reach. "I'll keep you safe. No one else can love you like I do." One evening, Maria told him she was going out for air. His face darkened. "You can't leave," he said, his voice low but sharp. "The world out there doesn't deserve you. You belong to me." His presence grew overwhelming. He followed her everywhere, never letting her out of his sight. When she tried to leave, he blocked the door with his towering frame, his eyes no longer kind but cold and possessive. And then, the obsession turned violent. Maria woke one night to find him standing over her bed, watching her sleep. His perfect smile was now a twisted grimace. "You don't appreciate me," he hissed. "I gave up the canvas for you. You owe me everything." Terrified, Maria fled to the studio, locking the door behind her. She grabbed her brush, desperate to paint him back into the canvas. But as she painted, the figure on the paper began to move. His twisted reflection snarled, "You think you can get rid of me? I'm a part of you now." The real man broke down the door, his once beautiful features contorted into a monstrous version of her original vision. His eyes glowed with a sinister light, and his voice boomed, "You created me. You can't destroy what you've made." In a panic, Maria grabbed a knife and slashed through the canvas, hoping it would weaken him. The man screamed, clutching his chest as cracks formed along his body, mirroring the damage to the painting. But as he crumbled, his final words echoed in her mind, "You'll never be alone again." When he was gone, Maria stared at her empty apartment, her hands trembling. She threw away her brushes and burned her easels, vowing never to create again. But late at night, she swore she could still hear his voice in the walls, whispering, "You can't unmake me."